Hello, and welcome to my presentation of my Articulate Storyline project, From Generic AI to Custom Coach, The Power of Personas. My target audience is competitive cyclists age 50 and older. Currently, many use AI tools like ChatGPT Pro as a basic search engine, and the fundamental goal of this course is to teach them how to build a custom AI persona so that the AI acts like an expert coach. The learning objective is performance-based, which is using ChatGPT Pro. Learners will construct a constrained AI persona that prioritizes recovery and reduces overtraining and injury risk. This requires apply-level thinking in Bloom's taxonomy, so learners aren't just recalling definitions, they're translating what they learned to build a usable AI persona for real-world cycling scenarios. I chose this topic because when older athletes use generic AI prompts, they receive high volume, high intensity plans that are dangerous. It puts them at risk for overtraining and injury. Teaching them what a persona is and how to create one is a critical safety need. Now I'd like to demonstrate the core of this course. On slide 2, identifying the red flags, I challenge the learner to evaluate a generic AI-generated plan. I use animations for the text box to float in, as well as a shake on the red highlighted boxes to emphasize when the narration reaches them. These highlighted text boxes also um, point out specific danger zones. And when learners click on these, a text box appears to explain why these lead to overtraining. On slide 3, building the persona, learners explore the 4 critical constraints: age, volume, recovery, and output. When the learner selects a tab, a new layer appears, revealing the specific definition for that constraint. And then the tab changes from orange to green. This visual cue is highly significant and it allows learners to easily track their progress, which reduces working memory load. Here, slide navigations control also prevent them from advancing until they've explored all 4 components. On slide 4, learners apply their knowledge through a drag and drop interaction, sorting information into safe constraints and red flags. They'll use a drag and drop interaction, so when they select a choice, drag it over to the container. If it's correct, they receive feedback. If it's incorrect, they also receive feedback and it explains why it's incorrect. They're then given the opportunity to try again. Once they've completed it, they can click submit and they receive feedback again that it's correct. And from there, they can continue. My design decisions were intentionally made to manage cognitive load. First, applying the coherence and redundancy principles, I removed long paragraphs, irrelevant graphics, and narration that simply reads the screen. The layout remains clean so learners focus purely on the content. Second, I used the signaling principle to direct visual attention. I used color highlighting on key terms and animated the text boxes as they fade in. Movement naturally draws the eye, eliminating the need for the learner to visually search the screen and reducing extraneous cognitive load. Third, using the segmenting principle, content is chunked into manageable segments, as you can see by my modules. Instead of overwhelming the learner with 4 paragraphs of text on a single screen, information is hidden on separate layers and only revealed when the learner actively selects the tab. And then by locking the next button until these interactions are complete, the learner is prevented from moving on, and this helps reduce cognitive overload and allows them to focus on one concept at a time. Fourth, I prioritized accessibility. I designed the course with high visual contrast. a dark blue background with bright orange text for readability. I enabled closed captioning for all audio, and the animated visual cues ensure I'm not relying solely on color to convey important information. Finally, here's how the CCAF instructional strategy shaped this design. For context, the learning's grounded in an authentic scenario, building a real 4-week training block using ChatGPT. The challenge, the learners had to identify the dangers in an AI-generated plan, forcing them to recognize the problem, which involved safe constraints and red flags. For the activity, I used a scenario-based situation where they had to select the appropriate prompt for their persona, and then I provided feedback for the correct answer and the incorrect answer. I also tried to tie feedback to every activity in the story. Using layers and states, I displayed specific correct or incorrect results, explaining why a prompt is safe or dangerous. I also used Storyboard when I was creating this project. This allowed me to plan the triggers, states, feedback, graphics, and everything before ever opening Storyline. So that's it. Thanks for watching my presentation.